Good morning. I'm your friend Scotty Ray, and it is Friday. Can you believe that? Another week. We're already October the 14th, almost at that halfway mark. Tomorrow will mark that. You're waking up to a clear sky, 48 right now. Chilly outside. You'll get to 79 before it's all over today. It's going to rise a good bit there to 79, right at the 80-degree mark. A perfect weekend for weather. If you did not get a chance to get your deer fields planted, great weekend to get it broke up. Might have a chance of rain next week, and we'll tell you when that will be here in just a little while. Some of the things that are going to be going on tonight, this is a big deal, and maybe should have been done long before now, but a lot of people are excited about this. As Southeast will celebrate this, they're going to do this at 6:30 and a reception at 5 o'clock this afternoon. I think everybody knows the name when I say this, Algie Davis. I just posted this just a moment ago. Reception, they honoring him by naming the football field at Southeast after him. Algie Davis Field, beginning tonight at 6:30. Hope you can make it out for that. And he has done so much for the school and brought so much awareness to veterans each year. Goes above and beyond. That very, very distinctive honor there. Congratulations to Algie. I hope the family is there and get to see all of that. That's a great thing. As we look around at a few other things that are going on in the community, several things this weekend I want to bring up before we get into the hard news of what's going on in the area. As we pull this up, let's look at a few of the events that will happen this weekend. As we start out, don't forget the Shamberville MPC Church Youth Cornhole Tournament will happen this weekend. Starts at 8 o'clock tomorrow. Begins games at 9. $20 a person. If you're good at cornhole, come on out. It'll go to support the youth there at the church. A good thing there. I can hit it sometimes. That hole's smaller than you think. Also, downtown Meridian, they're going to have it's kind of like a food festival located on 5th Street, and that's called the Feasty. Yeah, I'm not going to touch that. I'll get it tongue twisted there. But they're going to have food on 5th. Go down and visit them. This will all begin at 5 o'clock tomorrow afternoon and go to 9 p.m. A few of the things there in downtown Meridian. Also, a gospel night tomorrow night. They're trying to raise funds to help the church there, the building fund. They got a gospel singing. Crimson City Quartet will be there. 801 Oak Grove Drive is where that will happen. And again, a benefit tomorrow for McCalkey Castleman Fish Fry. It's going to be up at Dalewood. It will begin at 11 o'clock tomorrow. Fish plates there. Come on by. $12 a plate goes to benefit them. They would appreciate that. And also a fall festival we have this weekend. It will take place at Midway Baptist Church. It's going to be on Sunday from 5 until 7. We'll have a complete list of the festivities starting next week as well. Make sure to get yours to us so you can find out what's going on in your corner of the world. We'd love to talk about it. Let us know. You can email it to us or inbox us any way you want to do that. All the information is there on the Facebook page. And we also urge you to join our YouTube page. Subscribe, follow, get hooked up with this. Have a second way to watch us as well. Well, let's head out to Collinsville this morning and learn a little bit. We've got Brother Ben here to talk to us about, salt.
Does it feel like things in our community are decaying? Well, it needs some salt. And if you're a follower of Christ, you are that salt our community sorely needs. Jesus said in Matthew 5:13, you are the salt of the earth. As salt flavors the food we eat, we should add a godly flavor to our community. And as salt acts as a preservative, we're to push back the decay surrounding us. And like salt heals wounds, we're to bring healing to the sore places in our society. Yet what good is salt if it loses its saltiness? It might as well be thrown out. Beloved, your godliness is your saltiness. So if you want to see this community flavored, preserved, and healed, grow as salty with godliness as you can, and then go spread that salt. Change begins in you.
The Change Begins in You is brought to you in part by Piggly Wiggly of Collinsville, Patrick Allen Companies, Mitchell Tire and Wrecker in Collinsville, and Mowdy Cabinetry. Collinsville First Baptist Church. Hope you can visit. We can't miss them on the left there in Collinsville when you roll through the four-way stop. Nice church, great people. As we begin today, I do have it wasn't many last night. It was kind of calm overall, but we did have some reports of gunshots. No one injured, but they did hear some out here on Old Highway 80 West, right along in here, this area. No one hurt, and I had no damage reported with that last night. which is good news. We'll take that any day of the week there. As we learn, let me see here what else I've got. We had somebody that had to be tased last night. Well, they just couldn't help it. Kept jumping the fence and trying to take things that weren't theirs. As we go right here to the Southern Scrap area, police responded there. Someone had done it 2 or 3 times in the middle of the evening trying to take things. A little foot chase, and no one was hurt, no one was injured, but they were cuffed and taken downtown. Can't take things that aren't yours. Also had some disturbances mentioned, and as always, I bring up areas just to check your stuff of some doors that may have been kicked in the North Hills area. If you own a business in those areas, check your stuff. As you get in this morning, we often find out after daylight that more has been done than we realized. I got a note about this, and this is so sad. I don't know all the details. I know that when it was originally posted by a news source in Scott County, it was a little wrong, and they've adjusted it. We'll go with, we do know the fact that someone has passed away. The Scott County Times is reporting that a Lake High School football player has been shot and killed. We pass along condolences to the family. He was a senior, is what we're learning on this. We hope to find out more about this. This would have happened late yesterday afternoon in the area of Old Highway 80 and Johnstown Road in the little town of Lake. We'll hope to find out more about that as the daylight breaks, but such sad news coming from there. We'll see if we can't find out more about this. It was originally, I do think it had something to do with the drive-by. The location was wrong when it was originally posted. They've made some corrections, and I want to follow up to make sure that it's 100% correct before we do much more with it. But we do know that a player has passed away from gunshot wounds in Lake Mississippi. So sad. Young, no reason for that. Again, we'll find out more about that as daylight breaks and things come about. Did you see the pictures I posted of this? Boy, it's always something interesting passing through Meridian. And as we look at this is the U.S. Army Golden Knights black team. They were passing through Meridian. They stopped, headed to a football game. And look at this. These pictures are just beautiful as we go out to take a look. Meridian Aviation, as they landed and stopped for a few minutes there. U.S. Army. Big deal there to have those guys drop in Meridian. There they are. Nice to have that. Try to keep you up to date what happens in our area when they do. Let's see, we did have an accident on Highway 19 yesterday afternoon. Held up traffic for a little bit there. Cars were blocked in the road. It was no serious injury, but as you go to that Bonita Lake Drive area there on Highway 19, y'all know it right there where you take that left-hand turn going up to take a left to go up toward the mall. Had an accident there yesterday afternoon. Again, no one was hurt. We got several pictures brought in of that. Kind of slowed traffic for just a little while. We also had an accident on North Hill Street, right down from Popeyes. We know where that area is. It's often happen there as we pull this back up, right along in that area there. No serious injury. Ambulances were called to the scene to make sure everybody was okay. Could have been a lot worse. As we start looking around the state of Mississippi for other news this morning of things that have happened, do y'all remember the video of the Mississippi Highway Patrol officer that went viral, where it looked as though he may have been doing something, someone handcuffed? And everyone kept saying, just hold on. We hadn't seen all the video, where he'd gone in and had been edited down to a little bitty section there and posted to social media. It wasn't long before the Mississippi Highway Patrol released the 45-minute video, which showed a whole different story of the officer being ganged up on by 3 different people trying to attack him. Well, those 3 men have met the judge. They're headed off to jail for 3 months for what they did. I'm shocked it wasn't longer, but they'll get 60 days in the jail for trying to attack the trooper there. Scary situation. You just never know what goes on as you're passing by the highways of the danger that police and all get into. 1 man, 3 people. That's a struggle. I don't care who you are. He did a fantastic job. If you've never seen that video, I urge you to go back and look that up. Mississippi Highway Patrol has it posted on their page. Look at that. That could have turned out very bad. He was good at what he did. As we look around the state, Jackson, Mississippi, a pregnant woman has been shot and killed They attempted to save the baby after she was killed. It was no way to do so. From what I'm understanding, there was a knock on her door. She opened it. Shots were fired. She was killed. We hope to find out more. No arrests have been made in Jackson on this. So that's really 2 murders, is it not? I think so. We'll see what happens with that and if any suspects come up out of this. That's horrible. An attorney has been hired as we go to Gulfport. We talked about this a few days ago. A teenager was killed in Gulfport. Police were involved. A shooting happened. The gunfire came from the police. It was a 15-year-old out in front of a store. Video has not been released, but the family has hired an attorney. Again, we'll wait to see what happens after all the facts come out of this. But they have secured an attorney. We'll see what becomes of that in Gulfport. This is, I can't imagine. You know how is the word shudder? Have y'all ever seen a headline or read a story of how it happened, and it gives you that it does me on this. As we go to a farm in Mississippi, we had 3 men working on top of a grain bin. We're not sure how, but all 3 men fell in the grain bin. Emergency officials rushed to the scene. They cut a hole in the side to try to let all of the feed out of it. 1 man died at the scene. The other 2 men were flown to a hospital by helicopter. You've seen that scene in the movies to where they end up in a grain bin fighting. It's a very tragic situation. Again, we don't know how they fell in, but they did all they could to save them. That was in the Mississippi Delta, where farming is very it's a way of life there. Condolences passed along to that family as well as dealing with such a tragedy like that. Again, it gives you the shudders thinking about that. As we look at this, a Mississippi judge has made a ruling about the pandemic that public funds to private schools is unconstitutional, as they were handing out cash during the pandemic to help schools recover. They say this is can't be done to private schools. Hinds County judge has ruled that, and they go back and cite the Mississippi Constitution on that. We've had a death on Highway 471 as we look across the state of Mississippi in Rankin County. A 61-year-old lady, Miss Beverly Luckett, lost her life in an accident. As we come across, we go to lawmakers, and I'm not sure, I'm not a person that is well educated on drugs and things that are illegal drugs or things that people take. It's never been part of my life, and I've never done a lot of research on it. Am I aware of drugs? Absolutely. Have I had those close to me get hooked on things? Absolutely. It's horrible. I've never done drugs in my life, so I don't know a lot about them. But there apparently is something out there right now that is legal at this point to purchase in stores. But Mississippi lawmakers are on the verge of making this illegal, to pass it to where you can't do this. A drug called, it's a herbal drug is the way they're wording it, called kratom. Anybody familiar with that? I've heard of people being hooked on this. It does bad things to you. But it looks as though they will pass a law, hopefully make this illegal. I think you could even purchase this right now in convenience stores. We'll see where this goes to see if they pass this and lawmakers make it illegal. So many bad things that people get hooked on. And if you're out there and you know a family member, you've got one that's been hooked on something, it'd be a good person to get hooked on a horrible thing. It's If you're into tattoos, you like ink, and there's numerous TV shows that talk about the art of the inking. Down on the Mississippi Gulf Coast Coliseum this weekend, they're having Inking the Coast. So if you want to go down and check all of that out, there will be a lot of tattoo artists there, and the ones that do it very well. That's happening there. MCComb, Mississippi, as we go to South Mississippi to look at things that are going on this morning, we've had a person plead guilty to preparing false tax returns. She's been doing it in the years of 14 to 17. Made it to where people's refunds would be higher than they really were. She's going to be sentenced. She faces 3 years in prison and a $100,000 fine. The sentencing has not happened yet, but that is to come. Noxubee County, y'all are now under a burn ban. Need to get a complete list of that this morning to talk about that. But Noxubee County burn ban is active there. Jones County, we've got 2 accidents that have happened in Jones County over the last week. As we look there on Wednesday, we had a death there. Mississippi Highway Patrol. Somebody was passing through town from Florida, veered off the road and hit a concrete barrier. Again, this is South Meridian, hit that. He was pronounced dead at the scene, a 65-year-old man. We also see that a crash happened in a dump truck on the 12th, which was a couple of days ago there in Jones County. A dump truck overturned, flipped several times. The gentleman driving it lost his life as well. Something about Highway Interstate 59. Careful, we have more wrecks in that stretch when you get to that Clark County line and you move into Jones County. There's numerous wrecks happen all the time. A Bogachita man, which is Lincoln County. I know a lot of folks from Bogachita in that area there. Man's going to get life in prison plus 10 years. I probably needed to explain to me again why somebody gets life plus years, but he's getting life plus 10 years for a homicide that happened back in 2018. Man was shot and killed. He was found guilty. He'll spend some time in jail for that. It didn't say without a chance of parole. So, what is going on? We see yesterday, I don't know if y'all paid attention to this, as we see Trump will most likely, 2 things going to happen to him. He's made the headlines twice yesterday. A lady has accused him of something. He'll have to go before he's been subpoenaed. He'll have to talk. He says it's bogus. It was from years and years ago. And they also voted yesterday, the January 6th committee, that he will have to testify. He will have to come before that group, testify. We'll see how that turns out. It worries me when you start seeing agencies that really work for the United States. This came out yesterday, too, and I think everyone will remember this. Do you remember when, and the Border Patrol works very hard at what they do? Probably the danger that is involved with what they do is beyond measure. But do y'all remember when the Border Patrol were on the horses, and they were down by the river, and I want to say it was some migrants that were there by the water, and someone snapped a picture, and it looked like a rein off the horse. He was whipping one of them. Turned out that really wasn't true. This is disturbing. This is the guy, the Secretary of Homeland Security, got a memo that it was false, that really did not happen. They have emails to back it up. And do you know what he done? He went forward with accusing the Border Patrol of wrongdoing when he had an email that said that never happened. It's almost as if some people within our government are against law enforcement, isn't it? My vote is he should resign immediately. That's falsifying things, in my opinion. That's horrible. There are so many times that people do that for political gain, to make someone look bad. I don't know why I pick on police. That disturbs me. But we got that message out yesterday. Maybe you've read it. If I have not shared that, we'll put that on the page today so everybody can see that. That's wrong beyond measure. That's one of the stories that we're seeing this morning, and I do hope that someone will make him pay for that. Also this week, now I brought this up yesterday, as we talk about people that do things that are in higher positions. The FBI, did y'all see that yesterday? Where they offered $1 million to the dossier guy if he could prove it was right. Since when does the FBI offer money for something like that against someone who is running for president? That really makes you wonder. This was back in 2016, as we find out things as it comes to light. Very, very disturbing. If they'll do it to one person, it can happen to a lot more people, can it not? That's a few of the headlines this morning. We're going to look at your weather forecast next. That's right around the corner. Don't rush out. We'll find out what the weekend brings. Is it going to be good? Is it going to be bad? All that's next. I'll stay close with us. If every time the wind blows you get a little leery about a tree over your house, talk to my friends at Reed Tree Service. There's no reason to be worried about a tree crashing through your house. Mike Reed has years of experience dealing with trees. It can be as simple as having a limb removed or a tree that is just huge too close to your shop or house. It's not going to cost you anything to have Mike come out and give you an estimate. They're licensed and insured, taking care of East Mississippi and West Alabama. Reed Tree Service. Have tree, will travel. The Precast Group, offering you the best selection when it comes to a storm shelter. Located on 145 South in Meridian, where they offer above-ground shelters that can be installed in your home as you're building it, or conveniently located right outside your home if it's already built. They also offer storm shelters that can be installed in a slight bank or on flat ground. Protect your family today with a very affordable storm shelter from the Precast Group. Highway 145 South, 601-482-0003. The Precast Group. As I look at comments there, John, I agree with you. He thinks that the secretary should be impeached for what he done. That's wrong. As we look up, a lot of folks feeling that. The laws don't apply to the government sometimes. That's a common thing. Rod talked about fentanyl as we were talking about drugs a while ago. Very, very dangerous thing. People do get hooked on these things. Good morning. Glad to see so many of you out there. Levi, good morning. Joyce, good morning. It is Friday. Glad to see y'all. Christy Skipper, how are you doing today? Good morning to you. Clarence Westbrook up. A lot of y'all. All right, as we look at this, as we said, we're starting out at 48 this morning. Let's take a look and go over to radar this morning. Let me get this pulled up where we can get a good look here. Didn't have it ready, did I? As we go to Meridian Honda radar, let's pull this up and take a look at this. Now, as we've talked about this several times this week, we did have a tropical storm make it to the Gulf and come right off, made a complete U-turn, and is headed back. This morning is toting along at roughly 40 miles an hour with gusts of 52 miles an hour, moving southeast at 6 miles an hour. Is no threat to the United States, which is good. Now, we do have another system as we go over here to the coast of Africa that is developing. We'll look at that in just a moment as we look at that. As we zoom in to take a look across the state of Mississippi, Alabama, these areas here, let's turn on and take a look at our temperatures and see what we've got across the state. As we come to Meridian, we're looking here, 48 at Keyfield. As we go to NAS Meridian, showing 47. Look at Columbus Air Force Base, 43 degrees this morning. That is nippy, is it not? As we go over to MCComb, warmer toward the coast there, 52 in MCComb, 61 in Biloxi. The further north you go, chilly, chilly. We've got 41 right here below the line as we get near Tennessee. And it's going to be colder than that, in the 30s as we get up in Tennessee. Here's one right there, 37 as you get up near Nashville this morning, 49 at Nashville this morning. That's a complete look at that. A little bit of fog over near Birmingham and northeasterly through Knoxville, and you can almost bet as you get into West Virginia, you'll have some more fog up in that direction this morning. All right, let's take a closer look at your forecast and find out what all the National Weather Service calls for today.
Your forecast is brought to you by EMEPA, your Touchstone Energy Cooperative.
As we go back on those record highs, record lows, it was 53, 1953. It was 91 on this date. 1988, we came along and we had a low of 34 degrees. Hard to believe that 88 was that long ago. As we look at our temperatures for today, 79 is what we'll get as well through Philadelphia, right on up through Noxapater. By the time you make it up through Louisville and you head into Mississippi State territory, you're going to be 78 to 77 for a high today. As we go south toward Laurel, Hattiesburg, 82, Brookhaven, 81. Natchez looks to be a little bit warmer if you're going to be in that direction there. Over in Adams County, about 84. East of here, Tuscaloosa will be 78. The same throughout Birmingham, and we'll see a close 79 there in Livingston, Alabama this morning. As we look at this, there is a burn, increasing wildfire danger. Now, this is going to be west of us. This will pick up right along Brandon, Scott County, back west into Vicksburg, even higher in the Mississippi Delta. We urge you not to burn here as well. But we've got a burn ban up here, not so much in Lauderdale County or Clark County just yet. Watch your burning. It is still dry. That rain that came through the other day soaked into the ground quickly. What does the temperatures hold for us over the next week as we pull this up? 6 to 10 days, rather. We look here, cooler weather for Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia. Look at that. Still a cool front coming right on across. Tell you about some 60-degree weather in a second. Way off to our west, a little bit warmer out there. Now, here's our 7-day forecast as we head into the weekend of what to expect today. Sunshine, 79, down to 54 tonight. 85 will be our peak for the weekend. 84 on Sunday as we head off to church. 58 for a low. Here we go. And look at this. Monday, we're going to drop to 74. And by Tuesday, could this get any better? 62 on Tuesday and Wednesday. By Thursday, only 68. It's almost a perfect weather temperature. You can wear a sweater or, well, you can choose not to. But it will be great weather. As we look on, it will warm back up to the mid-70s, but never crossing the 80-degree mark for the remainder, all the way to the 28th toward the end of the month. Now, as we talked about deer hunting and best times to go get a tractor and make sure your seed will get wet is coming. It's about a 60% chance. They're hovering at 58 to 60% chance there on Tuesday the 25th. That'll be your next chance, and kind of lingering through the night hours there. So make sure to get that seed ready by then if you have not planted. That's your chance. Again, 70-degree weather for the rest of the month after this weekend. That is good. Now, let's look at what's happening here. As I mentioned a moment ago, the National Weather Service and National Hurricane Center. Carl here, that is still, as we looked at on a map a minute ago, making that U-turn, going back in. A 20% chance of this becoming something. We're watching it over the next few days. And I want to remind you with this as we're mid-month now, October. Beginning November, we move into tornadic season again. Y'all be prepared for that. We'll be here at all times should weather turn bad. But this will increase in November and December, and then it picks back up about March really, really heavy. Now, we still have chances in January and February, but our high months are November, December, and then March it starts getting in April and May. Carries on till June, but we move back into this again. We've had some violent tornadic activity in November and December in our area before. We're getting ready for that again. We're a few days out from that, 15 days or so before we move back into that. Just a heads up, always be prepared. As a matter of fact, next week is Severe Preparedness Week. I think the governor has already named that. I want you to be prepared. What's fishing going to do today? As we pull it up, Chet's Paint Body tells us perfect time to hit the water today was early. Ended at 6:30 was the first time. Your second time to head out to the water will be right at 5 o'clock this afternoon. 5 to dark 30. If you're going to be fishing, the wind's going to be light southwest, west-southwest 5 to 10 this morning. So that's a quick look at the best times to fish and get it all taken care of. We're getting ready for another hour of this. Now, we're going to kick off at 7 o'clock. We'll go more into detail, get into some national stories. As always, we love your comments and your input. Let us know what happens. Also, Jagger Whitaker is going to be in with us a little later on this morning. Kid from here in our area that's gone off to Nashville. He's back in town, going to do a song for us in Nashville, trying to make it big. So we wish him luck. He'll join us during the 8 o'clock show. Get to know some of the folks that leave here. A lot of talent in our area. We'll talk to him this morning around 8:30 or so. Join us. Candace getting ready. We'll see you soon as we begin your Friday right here with the Scotty Ray Report. Thank y'all so much for dropping by.
The Scotty Ray Report is brought to you by our following partners: